I want to introduce Kimberly Farris. She is from the Associated Builders and Contractors Pacific Northwest, or ABCPNW, and she is here to tell us about apprenticeships in Oregon, specifically, but not limited to those in the construction trade. So take it away, Kimberly.
Okay, hi, I'm a real person, Kimberly Farris. Welcome to my basement. I'm going to do a presentation today on Oregon apprenticeships. I have 5 apprenticeship programs, but I'll be detailing other programs as well and how to get involved with those. So let's go ahead and jump into it.
If you guys have questions, type them into the chat box, and then Kimberly can look at those and answer them when she gets a break in the presentation.
Yes.
And if you're not talking, make sure your microphone's on mute so that we don't hear any rambling siblings or whatever walking into the room.
All right, in case we didn't know, today is May 7th, 2020. I put the date on there for a reason because it's all blending together, am I right? All right, as Eric kindly introduced me, I am Kimberly Farris, Director of Apprenticeship with Associated Builders and Contractors. We're located in Portland, Oregon, but I have employers that go as far south as Salem and then all the way up to Astoria. Today, I want to talk about Oregon apprenticeship programs, the benefits of being a part of a registered apprenticeship program, and how that can work for your career path, how to plug into the apprenticeship system. So the top 5 reasons to choose a career in construction is number 1, construction is the largest growing industry in the United States. I mean, we can all see that just driving down 205, all those buildings that are being put up. And those are done here in the United States. There's also a big labor gap that's coming. By 2030, 49% of the construction workforce is set to retire. That's a large percent, and we don't have enough people to fill that gap. What that means is that those jobs are going to be coming available right now, because we need to be able to have people journey level and skilled in the trades by the time that generation is retiring. As I said, along with the first point, all construction is done here in the United States. You cannot build a parking garage in Canada or Mexico or China and then ship it over to the United States. Everything is done here in-house, and that means that we need the labor here in the United States. It can't be imported out to elsewhere. Number 4, I want to say that construction, as you know, being in Eric's class, gives a huge sense of pride and ownership and accomplishment in what you're building. One of my favorite stories is an apprenticeship, not an apprentice, not in my program, but another program. He graduated his apprenticeship program back in the 80s. And right now, he has grandchildren. And he was driving over a bridge that he helped construct when he was in his apprenticeship program. And that gave him a huge sense of accomplishment that he built something that was lasting for generations to come and something that he could share with his family. Number 5, I want to say that construction is an evolving industry. Technology is changing construction for the better. We can now build whole 3D models that will show you an entire building before we've even set a foundation. There is constantly changing, and that means that there is constantly new jobs that are available. So if you have an interest in CAD or design, architecture, those are fields that are growing and changing constantly, and there's always room for more jobs in those fields. Skilled trades careers are those labor jobs which require specific training, such as a carpenter, a tile setter, or an electrician. Much of the labor involved with skilled trade jobs is manual work and can be physically demanding. That's the definition of what apprentice means. But what does it really mean? This is a huge graph that shows all the available apprenticeship programs in Oregon. As you can see, the font is super tiny because I can't even fit them all on one screen. So over there in the chat feature, I did post the link for where you can find this information, and that's through the Bureau of Labor and Industry. their apprenticeship training division. These are the apprenticeship programs that are available in Oregon and in Southwest Washington. There's some on here that I've never even heard before. Just scanning it, do any of these surprise you that there is an apprenticeship program for it? What? Eric, what's your quick math problem?
How many?
Yeah, the meterman. Yep, that's still a trade. Did anyone notice that it says gas serviceman on there? There's an apprenticeship program to be a custodian, a traffic painter, painting the lines on the road, a heavy truck driver, yeah. These are all apprenticeship programs that are available in Oregon. There is ample opportunity. If you have an interest in any of these, there's an apprenticeship program for it. So I wanted to touch on what the difference in union and non-union are. So we are a non-union organization. And what that means is that the apprentices that are within our program are not affiliated with the union. So there's no cost for them to be in the program. They don't pay dues. Instead, they are directly employed with a training agent, which is just a fancy name for the employer. What the training agent does is they are on the job with the apprentice, making sure that they're becoming proficient in the field. For a non-union program, there is a cost associated with the education, but that you can work out with your employer. Some employers pay for it 100%, some do 50-50, some pay for it in full after they see passing grades. So that's something when you go in for an interview, you can discuss with your employer. And then all benefits like health benefits, 401k, that's determined between the training agent and the apprentice. I have no say in if your employer provides health insurance. That's something you can discuss with them. And every employer is different, so you can find one that'll meet your lifestyle. With the union program, you pay dues to that organization, and then you are a member of that organization, and they place you on various job sites and with various employers. The training cost is usually included with your dues. And then for most union programs, they provide the benefits. So health insurance, paid time off, that's all negotiated within the union. And then for a union program, some of them do require that you pay back your apprenticeship. And what that means is that if you are an apprentice with them for 4 years, after you complete your program, you need to be with them for at least 4 years after you complete your program. So that means you would complete your program and then be journey level for 4 years. And usually with that, you have an apprentice underneath you, which means the cycle is continuing. Does anyone have any questions on that? You can type it into the bar. I know it gets confusing a little bit. Oh, good morning, Jared. Does anyone have any questions on the union, non-union? We're good. I don't see anyone typing. Okay, moving on. All right, so Associated Builders and Contractors Pacific Northwest chapter has 5 apprenticeship programs. An HVAC apprenticeship program, sheet metal, sprinkler fitter, which is a specialized pipe fitting trade with a focus on fire suppression systems. A TAB program, which stands for Test, Adjust, and Balance. They troubleshoot large HVAC and water systems, so like an HVAC unit for a hospital. They troubleshoot that if there's an issue. And then I also have a tile apprenticeship program. Become an apprentice in one of those 5 programs or any other in the state. I have this graph here to show you what you're going to need to get there. So the first thing any program is going to require is a high school diploma or GED. With that, you also need to prove that you have proficiency in Algebra 1 for 1 year in high school with a C or better. Or, oops, scroll down to see the chat. There's more messages. Okay, this is just you guys. All right. So you'll need an algebra grade of 1 year with a C or better, or math 65 at a college level or math placement score level. Hopefully you have all that before you even give me a call or another apprenticeship director a call, because that is a requirement to get into the program. And unfortunately, that's the one that's the biggest hang up for people. So when you're taking your classes in high school and you say, oh, it doesn't matter what grade I get, it does matter because it's going to hold you up from getting into an apprenticeship program. We also recommend reliable transportation because, yes, driving down 205, you see all those buildings being built and there is bus options available, but sometimes you're going to be working on a construction site that doesn't have any roads to it yet. You can't be relying on public transportation to get there. So either have a car of your own or somebody who'd be very nice and be willing to give you a drive. We also recommend a good attitude and work ethic. I will say the number one, not complaint, but request that I get from my training agents is they just need somebody who's going to show up on time and have a can-do attitude. They can teach you how to do everything else. They can teach you how to lay cement or how to do ducting or how to drive a nail. But teaching somebody to just have a good attitude, to say yes, to go for it and show up on time and show up consistently is the hardest thing to come by. And it's also the thing that's going to get you let go from a job site. The last requirement for apprenticeship program is you must be 18 years of age or older. So as soon as you graduate, give me a call. I will recommend before you apply to a program to go ahead and research the different programs. I have an HVAC program. I'm just one. I think there's 5 in Oregon. So you have a couple to research and you can figure out if union, non-union would be better. Where is it located? What are the requirements to get in? Research those programs and see what's going to be a good fit for you and what trade will be a good fit for you. After you decide which program you want to go into, make sure you have the minimum requirements for getting into the program and then some. Later on, I'm going to talk about how to build your portfolio, but make sure you're turning in more than just the bare minimum, because I have 50 applicants on the list and all of them have turned in the bare minimum. You need to make sure that your application stands out. So after meeting the minimum qualifications, go ahead and apply to that program and then start building your credentials. If you do not meet the minimum qualifications for the program, if any of these things I listed up here are not something that you have in your pocket right now, there are ways that you can get that. There's a pre-apprenticeship program, or WorkSource has a program, JobSource has a program where they can assist you in perhaps getting your driver's license, help you get those math test scores up. And then with JobSource and a pre-apprenticeship program, they have hands-on construction activities that you can do just to help you get your feet wet in the field. All right, so to help you get some experience in the field, like I said, there's a pre-apprenticeship program. That's that purple bar up at the top, and these are the ones that are listed for Oregon. There's Portland Youth Builders, Constructing Hope, Oregon Tradeswomen, PCC has a pre-apprenticeship program, Job Corps, ROTC, and high school CTE program. If you are enrolled in Mr. Schneider's pre-apprenticeship HVAC program, that is your ticket to get into an HVAC program. Oh, Jason, are you raising your hand? Are you in it? That's awesome.
Yes, I've been in the program for 2 years. Yeah.
Perfect. And HVAC is the career path for you?
I'm looking more towards sheet metal.
Oh, okay, cool. Well, I have both those programs, so I can hook you up.
Awesome.
All right, so that's pre-apprenticeship programs. There's also trade-related classes that are offered at a community college. So if, like Jason, you're decided between HVAC and sheet metal, you could perhaps take an introductory class at a community college just to get your hands in there and see if that would be a good trade for you. There's CTE courses that are offered at various colleges, community colleges, trade schools around the Portland metro area, like robotics, drafting, engineering, or you could take just a basic construction class just to get in there. There's also trade-related hobbies that if you can show me proof for it, that's a great way to gain some experience in the field. So documented photos or captions of you helping your parents renovate their house, building a pizza oven in your backyard like I am, building raised beds, doing activities around your home or house, or maybe like for a Habitat for Humanity. Showing proof of that shows that you have interest in the field and that you have some background knowledge as well. I do enjoy when people come into my office and they say, HVAC is the career for me. And I say, okay, what does an HVAC technician do? And they just look at me with a blank stare. Research your topic, know what your field of study is going to be, and then also try, even just around your house, getting some experience in that field. There's also career-related volunteer work that you can do, like Habitat for Humanity, like I mentioned. There's a program called REACH that's a Portland metro area that does home building. There's Rebuild Together, student leadership programs like Skills USA, and then there's also summer camps that are available. Like OTI has a summer camp, Constructing Hope has a summer camp. OTI is Oregon Tradeswomen International. Constructing Hope has a summer program, and then there's also a summer program through the Northwest College of Construction. And then if you can, there are work opportunities that you have available. You can do that over the summer or as a part-time gig, but there's internships that you can do maybe at an auto body shop, maybe with an air conditioner repair person, doing an internship just to see what it's like a day in the life of a technician in the field. There's summer work that you can do. You could do a job shadow or a ride along with an HVAC tech and go on their service calls and see what it's like, or ride along with a tile company and see what it's like doing not just tiling in a home and a shower, but see what it would be like to do tiling at the courthouse as a grand entry. One of my companies is doing that right now. I just saw pictures. It's very cool. There's also a program called MECOP, which I don't remember what it stands for. Wait, yes, I do. I have it in my notes. It's, I don't remember. It's in Corvallis, though. It's a trade work experience gig that you could get on. And then there's also tech prep that you could do. All right. Are you ready? Yeah, we're going to talk about how to apply to an apprenticeship program. You've already done your research. You've already tried to get some experience either by working on projects at home or doing a ride along with a company, and you're ready to apply to an apprenticeship program. The first thing you're going to need to do is fill out your application to the program. Please write legibly. I have so many applications that it's just chicken scratch, and then I can never get a hold of them because I can't read their phone number or their email. And you're going to be writing job slips when you're on the job. I can't send somebody out that nobody can understand your handwriting. So please write legibly. You're going to need a valid driver's license. Like I said, reliable transportation. Make sure you can get to the job site. I will need a driver's license or an ID. I prefer a driver's license though. A copy of your high school diploma, a copy of your high school transcript with the appropriate math requirements. So Algebra 1 for 1 year with a C or better. And if you've taken CTE classes in your high school, make sure I get a transcript that shows that, because you do get extra points for CTE classes. So any classes you've taken with Mr. Schneider will get you a couple points on my list. Have a transcript from any post-high school education you've taken. If over the summer you took a introductory course at PCC, awesome, get me a transcript for that. If you have a certificate from a pre-apprenticeship program, be sure to include that with your application as well. And even better, if you have a transcript of courses that you've taken through your pre-apprenticeship program, please submit that. Any documented work experience you have around the house with Habitat for Humanity, with one of those programs I listed on the previous slide, have like a written letter or photos, something showing what you've done, that you have previous experience in the field. If you do decide to pursue the military, make sure you get transcripts of the courses that you've taken with that. And then any certifications that you have. Extra points if it's first aid and CPR, if you have your forklift license, if you've had any welding or OSHA 10, any certificate that you've received that is construction related, include that with your application. Even if you're not sure if it'll get you any points, Any little piece of paper, just throw it in there. If it doesn't get you any points, it's okay. But I don't want you to miss something because you think it's not important. I don't care if your application is this thick. I want to flip through every single page. Let's see what you've got. After you apply to the program, oh yes, neatly, of course, thank you. Nice little stack. After you apply to the program, there will be an interview. There might be 2 interviews. First, you'll have an interview with the apprenticeship program, and then you'll have an interview with the employer or job site that you'll be on. So professional, go ahead and practice your interview questions, do a mock interview, make sure that you're prepared. Rehearse your answers. And also, do I have that on the next one? No, I don't. I do want to say that those questions that I am asking mean something. If I'm asking you, what do you do on the weekend? Do I want to hear that you've been sitting at home doing video games the whole time? No. Do I want to hear that you helped your mom make raised beds? Yeah. All right. I was trying to pull this up so I can see it. I was going to do a pop quiz here. Are you guys ready for your chat feature? Okay. What? Can you guys see part of my screen that I don't want you to see? There we go. What answers do you think I'm looking for? Tell me about the best job you've ever had. Type what you think I'm looking for into the chat feature. Being a high school woodshop teacher. Yes, that counts. You have some experience in the field. Okay, so Jared, you're saying you work at Dairy Queen because it's the only job you've ever had. Did you ever fix an ice cream machine? Customer service, teamwork. Even if it's the only job you've ever had, sell it to me why you think that job makes you a good candidate for an apprenticeship program. Okay, am I making you think a little bit more about it? Soft skills, yes, I always showed up on time. I did good customer service, respectful, that kind of deal. Helping your grandpa with tire work, that's awesome. If you have pictures, even better. Or a thank you note from your grandpa. I would love to read that. All right, let's move on to the next one. Tell me about a work. So these are actual questions from my interview. If you're not taking notes, you should be. All right, the next question. I want you to tell me what you think the answer is I want to hear. Tell me about a work situation where you were in conflict with someone and how you resolved it. Why do you think I'm asking that question?
I think you're asking this question because it's showing like a good way of teamwork and how you work well with others, or if you don't work well with others. One of the examples I could give is in the dynamics. We had this huge bucket of water, and we were using the flare gun to check the water, and it was going through a radiator. We were checking the temperature of the radiators, and then with one of the other guys, we were talking about if we should, measure it every 30 seconds or 1 minute or, 5 minutes or what. And so we eventually came to an agreement with all the other guys. We would take like measurements every 1 minute, I think it was, and that, everyone would record it and that we would get all the same answers. So we'd work together and make it easier for all of us.
Yeah. So using teamwork and then coming to a compromise and a solution on how to handle the problem. That is a great answer. Do I want to hear, oh, my boss was an idiot, so I just walked off the job site?
Probably not.
Do I want to hear, so I put him in a headlock? Because I have heard that answer before. All right, let me read some of your comments. So it shows how we solve conflicts. Yes. That it shows you have a good attitude. Yes. I want to make sure that when I send you out on a job site, you're going to stay there, have a good attitude, and be a good worker. All right. I have just okay. Oh, this is my favorite one. This will be quick. So go ahead and get ready to type it into your question, your chat feature. The trade is physically demanding. There will be many tasks requiring strength and coordination. What do you do during a typical week to stay fit? I'll give you a few minutes. Type it into the chat. Gym, exercise, run every day, walk my dogs, yard work, random push-ups. Okay. Oh, wait, that's you. It's you, Eric. All right, this is a very easy question. What I want to do is, you guys all know the trade is physically demanding. You need to be able to lift 50 pounds and be on your feet all day, climb a ladder, climb scaffolding, and be confident. Do I want to hear, oh, nothing? No. I have gotten that answer before. No, I used to have a gym membership, but I don't do anything lately. That's a terrible answer. This is an easy question. I want to make sure that you're physically fit. You can tell me whatever you want. Does that make sense? Yeah. Make an answer that's going to show that you're able physically to do the job. Not, oh, nothing. Because I get that one all the time. And I'm like, you were losing so many points on this question. Did I mention that your interview was scored based on the answers you give me? Oh, did you guys see my face? My eyes got real big. So make sure you answer well. Rehearse your answers. My next question, what interests you most about becoming an apprentice in the trade? You can type this one into the chat feature, but I just want to say, make sure you have an answer prepared for this, not just my buddy told me to do it, thought it was a good job, that kind of thing. Don't say I'm in it because I like paying my bills, because I have had that answer before. Have an answer prepared that shows you're passionate about trade. You've done your research on what it means to be an apprentice, and that you've decided that this is the career path for you. Did that sink in? Okay. That's it. Yeah, just have an answer ready. The last question that I asked during the interview is this. Becoming an apprentice will require an investment of your time and resources over the next 4 years of training. You will be working full-time, attending required classes, and completing homework assignments. What is your plan to be successful? I'll give you guys just a second. Type in what you think the answer is, or what a good answer would be, into the chat feature.
Will you repeat the question one more time, Kimberly?
Yes, it's a long one, but it gives you, listen for it, it gives you information about the program and what's expected of you over the next 4 years and how you plan to do that well. Okay, so here's the question again. Becoming an apprentice will require an investment of your time and resources over the next 4 years of training. You will be working full-time, attending required classes, and doing homework assignments. What is your plan to be successful as an apprentice? Stay committed, know the time, and investment will pay off in the future. That is a perfect answer. Keeping and looking to the future. I like to eat food and a roof over my head, so earning money. Okay, that's not a good answer. What I want to hear is that you're committed, that you know that this 4 years will be very short and it's an investment in your future career. I want to hear that you are going to have good time management skills, that you're going to be dedicated to attending class and completing your homework, and you're going to complete all your required responsibilities. When you go into an apprenticeship program, it's a 4-year investment, but it's also an investment for your employer and the program. We want to make sure that we're investing our time and resources into somebody that's going to stick with it for the 4-year apprenticeship program and continue on to be a journey level technician, and then pour into the apprentices that are going to be coming up underneath him. That makes sense? It's a great opportunity, and it's a lot of hard work for those 4 years. But you're going to be investing in an incredible career that you'll be proud of. You'll be proud of what you make. You'll be proud of the people that you get to train. And you're also going to make a ton of money. Did I mention that already? You get paid very well. I think HVAC starting out, I think it's $19 an hour. Starting out, fresh, no experience in the field. And then by the end of it, moving up to $36 an hour. And then if you get overtime or time and a half, or if you're on a prevailing wage job, you'll be making closer to like $50 an hour. That's a big deal. Okay. Is there some hand clappings in the chat feature yet? All right, so choosing your apprenticeship program. This is a map from OregonApprenticeshipLocator.org. And I actually posted, if you scroll up in the chat feature, I put the link in there. But this shows you all the apprenticeship programs that are available in Oregon. The orange ones are open programs that are taking applicants right now. And the gray tabs are ones that are not accepting applications right now. But if that's a program that you're interested in, go ahead and give the administrator a call. You can click on this button and their phone number will pop up. Contact that apprenticeship program, even if they're not open right now, and let them know that that's your plan in the near future, and they can help you get into the program. I love talking to people in high school and they say, I'm going to apply to you after I graduate. And I'm like, cool, let's talk about what classes you're taking right now, what you can do to beef up your application right now. Let's talk about what your portfolio looks like and how we can improve that to ensure that by the time that you graduate, you're ready to join my program. All right, so while you're looking at this map, here's some questions that you should be asking. What do you like to do? Do you like working with your hands? Does scaffolding totally freak you out? Those kind of questions are gonna help you decide what you like to do, what you're good at, what scares you, what interests you. Those kind of questions are gonna help you decide what program you wanna join. And then you can look and see, are there open programs available in my area? Cool, if they're open right now, I'll go ahead and give them a call. And even if they're closed, give them a call and see how you can get into that program in the coming months or years. Is the program union or non-union? Talk to the programs and see what would be a better fit for your lifestyle. And if you're not sure, go ahead and apply to both and see who hires faster. Or you might sit in on their orientation and decide that that's not a good fit for you, and you can withdraw your application at that time. I'd rather you give it a chance than dismiss it right away just because you don't think it would work for you. And then call the program administrator with any questions you might have. And if you're not sure, just go ahead and talk to him anyway. Go ahead and apply. Doesn't hurt anything. And you might be interested in a new career path you didn't know was available. Okay, that's it. That's all I've got. Do you guys have any questions for me?
Oh, come on, you guys.
So I've got a question.
Yeah.
So my neighbor down the street, Shauna Lee over at Skyline Sheet Metal.
Oh yeah.
I think that's one of the companies that's, yeah, she's my neighbor literally down the street, but
Perfect.
she told me to, apply to Skyline Sheet Metal. And, I've also gotten offers for Sheet Metal Institute because of the pre-apprenticeship program that I do at the high school is directly linked to that. And so I have a union and a non-union option. And, I'm still deciding whether I want to do either. I'll probably end up applying to both and, going through both of them and seeing what they have to offer. But, I want to get, your opinion on what you think would be, do you prefer union or non-union?
Well, I have a non-union organization, so I prefer non-union.
Mm-hmm.
Personally, non-union I think is a better fit because then you can negotiate your benefits and pay directly with your employer instead of going through the union, and then you're not paying dues. It's up to you. I have other comments, but it's really up to you. What's a good fit for you?
Yeah. And then another thing is schooling. Like,
Yeah.
let's say I go with, your sheet metal. I think if I applied, I would be sent to the Northwest College of Construction and
Correct.
go through their program. Now, whether I would get money back, or do you guys pay for that fully, or what's the deal with that?
That's between you and your employer. So you can talk to Shauna and see if they'll pay for schooling for you. Every employer is different. Some of them pay for it 100%. Some of them pay for it 50-50. Some of them pay for it after they see passing grades. So you can discuss that with your future employer and see if that would be a good fit. With the union, your training is included. That's what a portion of your dues goes to, is paying for schooling. And then you might want to talk to the Sheet Metal Institute. I'm not sure if they're one of those programs that that after you complete your apprenticeship, if you have to pay back. Pay back being your time. You have to stay in the union at least another 4 years. You have to work full-time for every construction job. So that's between you and the employer, but most of my apprentices work full-time or over. I had somebody come in and said he's been working 96 hours a pay period, so 40 plus a pay period. And he's on prevailing wage. And I was like, that is a very nice paycheck for you. And I will say, I wanted to point out one other thing. These are crazy times that we're living in right now. I have very few apprentices that are out of work right now. Construction is still growing and it's still going strong. I mean, I drove down 205 yesterday. That's why I keep bringing up that example. And I saw people working on apartment buildings, on office buildings. They were redoing the pillars underneath the overpass. There were cement masons working on that, working on scaffolding and doing the cement for it. Construction is necessary right now. We're still a growing community even through all of this, and construction is deemed essential. It's unfortunate. I have quite a few friends that either one or both of them are out of work right now. And I'm like, I can get you a job in sheet metal.
I've seen this in a meme too. It's like, if you want to know what the essential jobs are, look around at who's still working right now. And if you see a job and people are working, that's something that is good to pursue because it goes through up times and down times. And like plumbing and HVAC and trades within carpentry, you're either building new or you're doing repair. And it varies between the two.
Commercial and residential, or doing a prevailing wage job. Do they know what a prevailing wage job is?
You should explain it.
So a prevailing wage job, the reason I brag about it is because that is a contract that has been negotiated with the state. So working on a school or a corporate house, fire station, those contracts are negotiated with the state and the wage is up much higher because for the trade as a whole, not just for that specific contractor. So the wage is much higher, and they also negotiate something called fringe benefits, with health insurance, time off, sick time. So that all gets negotiated with the state. And it is a very, very cushy gig. And those prevailing wage jobs can last anywhere from 2 weeks up to years working on something. And a lot of our companies are working on them right now, especially the school ones, because I know it's very unfortunate you're not in the classroom right now, but that means that your school is open for construction. So I have actually one of my tiling companies is that, what's the other school that's out your way? Oh, no.
High school?
Warlow. They're working up there on their school right now, and it's a contract that they have lasting until they're back in school in August. But it got pushed up, and they're starting earlier right now on it. So they called me asking for a couple more apprentices to go help them out on that job.
Now, as someone who just graduated high school because the governor said I did, what are some things that
What? Did she do commencement from the podium? Okay, class of 2020, you're out of here.
And yeah.
So you do.
What are some
have
things
your
that I should be
diploma
doing?
yet?
Not yet. I think they're going to send it in the mail soon.
Okay.
I'm not sure. So, what are some things that I should be doing, right now, to get into these union or non-union programs?
Well, call Shauna right away and just see if she needs any help just around the shop without being affiliated with an apprenticeship program, but you can just start working.
Really?
Because you don't have your diploma yet or your high school transcript. So that means you don't meet the minimum qualifications to enter a program right now, but that doesn't stop you from getting a job in the field. And that can be used as, the prior experience when you're applying to a program.
Most places,
so
start something new, you do grunt work anyways. So already having your foot in the door early would be good too. That's something I've been told.
Yeah. Jared, what program are you looking at?
So I'm looking at it's a program through Northwest JTAC. It's the Volta Apprenticeship to become a lineman.
Oh, okay, cool. Man.
So I've been looking at that. Mainly one of the reasons is because I'm weird and I like heights, and seeing the guys out here working on the power lines and stuff, I don't know, it's just appealing to me, being out there, being able to serve my community. Because like when we get like our windstorms or some of our bigger storms here in Oregon, you got to have people come out there and fix power lines.
Yeah. Get ready to be on call.
Oh, yeah.
Well, my sister-in-law does. So my brother-in-law does, he drives truck for the linemen. And then my sister-in-law does the high voltage for PGE. Like those big. Yeah.
Like the substations?
Yeah. It's an insane job. She absolutely loves it. She's a thrill seeker. Does anyone else have a trade they're specifically looking at?
Val's got a question down there. Do you have any tips for electrician pre-apprenticeship programs?
For electric? So PGE has their own apprenticeship program, if that's a specific company that you're looking into. And then IEC is the non-union electrical apprenticeship program. And then NEBW is the union electrical program here in Portland. And they're huge. And their shop is absolutely beautiful. Did you guys go to OTI last year? The career fair?
I did not go to that one. Who went last year? Jason, did you go to that?
I don't think I did last year. I was gonna go this year, but that that's a whole story.
Signed up and everything.
There's a whole story about that.
NEBW is the one who hosts the OTI career fair. So if you've been to the career fair, you've been to their building before. At least last year they had it there.
Oh yeah, I was thinking of the Career Expo that's usually at the convention center in downtown.
Oh yeah, the youth career.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that kind of got canceled because of coronavirus.
But I didn't get the notice, so I was in downtown 6 a.m.
Oh no!
Oh no!
Yep.
Yeah, there was about a
I went
2-hour gap between.
It was a fun day.
Between when Reynolds canceled and when the whole thing was called off. So a bunch of kids went down there and said, I'm just going to go on my own. And Jason was one of them.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah. Because I left school early because I got excused for my 7th period. And they announced it at 7th period on the announcements, but I wasn't there.
Oh, geez.
You were on your way to the Expo Center.
Oh yeah, I was getting everything ready for the next day. So here I was waking up at 5 a.m, getting on the Max, but lo and behold, I go trying to open up the doors and they're locked. I'm like, oh, geez.
Something got canceled. Kind of an off-topic question, but is there? I've heard elevator repair guys. Is there any other ways to get into that kind of field other than like knowing somebody in that field? Because I've heard it's a very, very difficult job to get into.
Yeah, there is an apprenticeship program for it. And I think I heard the same thing that you heard, that a lot of elevator mechanics are older and they're retiring within the next few years, and they don't have apprentices underneath them to fill those positions. Mm-hmm. You heard?
Yeah, they brought in a speaker. I don't remember when, but we went in the auto shop and listened, and he was talking about how the specific question he asked was, what do you think the most, like the highest paid CTE or like apprenticeship like fields are, or journeyman fields are? And we were all throwing out like electricians and all of this, and then just curveballs us with elevator.
Yeah. I think that's because there's not very many of them. Yeah. It's a very special
niche job.
I just posted the link for it on there. It looks like there is a union program in Portland that has information on it. But Eric, do I have time to show them one more thing?
What?
Do I have time to show them one more thing?
We got time. We're not going anywhere. What, is it like a bell schedule or something?
We're all stuck at home.
I think I have plans at the end of August.
Yeah. You've got a couple of months here. Keep going.
Okay, so this is the Build Your Future initiative. This is through NCCER. But they have a website that shows, do you guys see this? The craft labor demand. And you can click on your state and see what the demand is for laborers or for craft technicians per state. So let me show you Oregon. Here we go. So here's the demand for, it looks like it's through 2020 right now. So this is how many more people we need in those trades. We need 22,000 in carpentry, which there's a carpentry program through the Northwest College of Construction. We also need craft laborers. Do you guys know what a laborer is? Maybe? Okay, so laborers, they do everything on the job site. Carry, lift, cut, that kind of thing. Not specialized to a specific trade. It's just they're there to help out. And it's also, I recommend if you're not sure what program to do, but you want to get into an apprenticeship program, the labor program is a great way to kind of like a jump start into getting into the craft field. All right, so there's that. We'll go down to one of mine. Sheet metal. We need 3,000 more sheet metal workers. And then for HVAC, oh, look, it's only 978. You know what that means? That means I'm doing my job well, because we've got over 100 HVAC apprentices in our program, and about 31 of them are set to graduate this year. Pretty cool, huh? I think there's one other thing on this site that I want to show you. There's the choose your career path that you can do. Let's do it together. So starting your career path in middle school, you're taking CTE courses, and then you jump into high school and get into a more specialized trade. So like doing carpentry classes or the HVAC classes. And then from there, you can choose if you want to go straight into an apprenticeship program, join a community college and do their trade education courses, or jump into a university degree. Which one should I pick?
Most of us, I say, are looking at industry apprentice, so why not go with that one?
Okay, let's do industry apprentice. So becoming an apprentice in the field, whether it's a 3 or 4 year program, once you finish, you'll be a craft professional. Craft professional is just a fancy way of saying journey level technician. And then from there, the last thing The next thing you'll do is become a crew leader or foreman for a job site, having apprentices and journey level techs underneath you and directing them on a job site. After doing that for a few years and becoming proficient in the trade, becoming a site superintendent. From there, becoming a project manager or senior management. Which way do we want to
go? Senior management. Sounds exciting.
Senior management means that you're up there at the top, and then the last step would be becoming the CEO, executive, or owner of a company. I want to tell a story that I had a female apprentice complete our HVAC apprenticeship program about 3 years ago. Last year, she called me and she started her own HVAC company, and they were so busy and slammed, and their backlog was getting too long that she wanted to join the apprenticeship program. So she joined our program as a training agent, and we're able to bring up apprentices underneath her. So she started out my program, completed, got journey level status, opened up her own HVAC company, and now she's training apprentices in her company.
Wow.
Just graduated 3 years ago, and she owns her own company. I'm so proud.
In 3 years, she built up her own company and got enough publicity to get backlogged enough to actually have to join.
Yeah, I know.
Pretty amazing.
Something to brag about. I'm very proud of her. So let's pick a different way. If you were to join a community college, Mount Hook Community College, PCC, Clackamas Community College, all have trade tech classes that you can take. From there, maybe getting your university degree in building sciences, in construction, in project management. From there, becoming an assistant project manager, and then promoted to a project manager, and then promoted to senior management. You guys see the map over here?
Yeah.
So there's different ways you can go about it. You can jump into a community college or a university degree, or you can get your hands dirty and start an apprenticeship program and then work your way up to the top. And the rate that you can climb to the top of this map is up to you. It could be 3 years and starting your own company, or you could find a larger company to be a part of and make a lot of money as an assistant project manager for a few years. There's different ways that you can go about it. I also want to tell a story. We have a plumbing company, and he started his own plumbing, or he went through an apprenticeship program, started his own plumbing company. It got really big, and he didn't like being the owner anymore and not being able to go out on the job site because it was the plumbing, the hands-on stuff that he really enjoyed about it, not all the CEO stuff, paperwork, hiring, firing people, doing payroll. So he sold his company to one of his employees. So his employee bought the company, and he went back to work for them as a plumber. He traveled all the way up this map and was like, I want to get back in the field. Went back down here.
A friend of mine built up an HVAC company and sold it to a local company. They hired him back. So they bought his company, I'm guessing, for like somewhere in the near $1 million range.
Yeah.
And they hired him back at more than what he was paying himself for doing less work.
I don't know about you, but that sounds like the American dream to me.
That's
Add a white picket fence and we're golden.
If it's not, that's probably the closest you can get.
And the dude's like a total redneck. You'd have no idea he has the kind of money he does when he talks. He's kind of this low drawl, but like,
yeah,
he got it figured out. He also works like 25 hours a day. So,
jeez. Wait, how is that?
I'm exaggerating, of course.
Working hard though. Or he could have sold his company and just retired and sat on his piles of money.
As hard as he works, I think he'd probably explode if he tried to sit back and do nothing.
If he tried to stop.
Yeah.
Well,
now he works for the company.
I think it's like because even in quarantine, they're very busy right now. My HVAC companies are especially busy because all like non-essential medicals started up again. And so like dentist office, pediatric offices, offices are calling the HVAC companies to get these special, like, hospital level filters put into their HVAC units. So they're crazy busy right now. They're busy right now. Nobody's laid off. That's very good. All right. Are there any more questions for me?
If they have questions, is there a way to get them to you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, do you want me just to type it into the chat feature?
Yep. And I will I'll copy that over to, in fact, when you're done, I'll share my screen really quick and show everybody where this is. So I'm gonna grab this, and in fact, I'm gonna steal your screen if you're done.
Done.
All right.
Oh, did I put the BYF? I'll put the BYF in case you guys want to do that. Choose your career path thing on your own.
All right. Okay, don't laugh at my 3,000 tabs open. That's just how I roll. Okay, so you guys, just so you know, I'm going to put this over here. So if you go to groups and RHS Woodshop group down here, we've got a discussion link. And if you go to that, every time we have a guest speaker, I'll plop them in there. So there's Kimberly right there in the ABC Pacific Northwest discussion. And on that very first one, I'm going to go ahead and put your link right there. Oop, I didn't copy it. Just kidding.
That's the other one.
Highlighted it. Forgot to hit Control-C. Right there.
That's me. And then our website is just abcpnw.org.
That is right there.
Yeah.
Okay. Right, and then the other thing you guys too is if you've got just questions for me or general questions on this discussion thread, you can just comment down them just like, you know, Facebook or any other social media. So there's that. I'm gonna stop this right now. Okay, I do have a recording of this, so I will find a place to put this. I'll probably put it back in that discussion where I showed you. So if you want to go back and see something, and then we've got a whole bunch of links. So everything that Kimberly shared is in there. And ask her if you have questions.
Yeah. Thank you so much for your time today, everybody.
Oh, thank you. This is a nice break from me talking all the time.
I hope you guys enjoyed your time in my basement. If you're a family, or if it looks like I live in a castle.
Mine looks like I live in IKEA.
Perfect.
I can't even tell what you have in your background, Mr. Snyder.
I'll give you the tour. Let's see here. I've got my 3D printer, which stopped working last Christmas. This table here is just my pile of everything. That's my camping gear in that closet back there. This is like the dungeon room that nobody wants. So like when we all moved home, I took this one over so that, you know, nobody else had to live in the dungeon.
Okay, bye.
All right. Bye, Kimberly. Thank you again.